good night, good night. Happy Sunday. Welcome to another episode of our Males podcast. We are still in season one. This is episode 10. After this episode, we have one more episode and then we will take a break and move on to season two. With me tonight, we have Timbakani. I know him as Corey, but I don't know why the name is Timbakani. We have Jason Craig back with us this week. Thank you again, Mr. Jason. We have Mr. Vincent Irvin, and we have Mr. Wally West. How are we doing, gentlemen?
Good.
Doing great, doing great, doing
Doing
great.
good, man. Doing good.
All right, so really and truly, we have a lot. We have a whole lot to discuss. We have a whole lot to discuss tonight, and we have a whole lot to discuss tonight. But the first thing, I want to start with, what I was telling you guys backstage, right? There is this thing that I saw floating around on social media, and I think I'm going to give Vincent a crack at it first. I'll give my opinion first, and then I'll give Vincent a crack at it, and then we can go around the table. We'll be joined by Ryan shortly, then we'll be joined by Warren shortly as well, and I think Raggy will be here as well. They're just running a little bit late. All right, so this is the scenario, as I told you guys. What has been floating around was there's a stepmother and a father, right? Stepmother and a father. The father has a 16-year-old daughter. The father and the stepmother is about to get married. However, what happened is that the 16-year-old daughter is pregnant. The 16-year-old daughter is pregnant and she decided that, hey, she wants an abortion. The stepmother went ahead and took her to get the abortion. All right? Stepmother went ahead, took her to get the abortion. And then the father found out and called off the wedding immediately. Right? Before I even give my thoughts, Vincent, I'm going to give you a crack at it first. You are a dad, you have a daughter, right? I want you to know, do you think that the action that the dad took was too emotional, too irrational? You never really think about it, or do you think it was the right action? And is this an action that you yourself would go ahead and take?
All right. Good night again to everybody. Wow. I probably is an action I probably would have taken. I believe that she is wrong. To have gone ahead and have my daughter to have an abortion without first having that discussion with me and my child. I mean, just thinking about the situation, it appears that I'm gonna assume that she and my daughter probably have a relationship and a good relationship. Nevertheless, it is my daughter, and I try to be a little careful because the truth is, in marriage, then it is also her daughter. And
Absolutely.
I am thinking that even if it is both of us daughter, a situation like that, you would have want to have a discussion. It's not a unilateral um decision that you would have taken. And I guess more so, it is my daughter. I think probably I am struggling based on the fact that I'm saying that I am in a relationship with you. Would I just gone just straight ahead and just call off the wedding just like that? Even if I don't call off the wedding, it is setting us up for some serious strife and discussion before we could go ahead with any wedding plans, because that's a major decision. That's something that impacts my daughter. So I wouldn't wrong him. I wouldn't wrong him for what he did, and I think probably I would have done something similar as well.
All right. All right. So let me tell you from my point of view. I believe when you're getting married to a woman, I believe you are asking this woman to really and truly take responsibility as a mother, right? She's not the she's not the birth mother, of course, but you're getting married to this lady. I think you're saying, hey, I have a daughter. I am expecting you to play the role of a mother, right? So now when I'm looking at that, the first thing I'm looking at, why wasn't the stepmother and the daughter comfortable enough to come to me and talk to and talk to me about it. So that's the first thing I'm looking at. So I'm saying probably I have to look how I deal with things. I have to look how I handle certain situations because probably it's because of my approach why they weren't comfortable approaching me about the situation. All right, that's one. The next thing I'm saying, well, you know, you can look at it as deception or deceit, but then you say, hey, listen, daughters tend to have a close relationship with their mother in this situation, their stepmother. So I believe I know everything they're gonna tell me. So when I'm looking at that, I'm saying, hey, if I go feel away, probably, but I'm thinking, jump into a situation where I'm saying, hey, no, the wedding is off, I can't be with you. I just think that's a little bit too much. And let me bring in Corey right here. Corey, you have a daughter. You expressed that you have a daughter as well. On our last episode, but I want you to tell me: do you think that is a bit too emotional of a decision, or would you make a similar decision?
Yeah. I agree with this man completely. That is wrong on so many different levels.
Huh?
You can't hear me? You can't hear me?
No, talk a little louder, boss.
All right, hold on. You can hear me now?
Yeah, hearing you better now.
All right. 100% agree with this man. This is wrong on so many different levels, brother. One, it is wrong on the basis that you made such an important decision without consulting me first. See me?
Yep.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't even care if I'm my biological daughter. Had it been the other way around and it was her biological daughter as the prospective stepfather of that child, I would have wanted to be consulted. Whether or not my opinion would have been taken is another issue. But at least I would have wanted to be to have been consulted, or at least made aware that I made the decision. Yeah, it makes
But
it even
Corey,
worse. My
but
daughter,
Corey,
brother.
and but Corey, hold on. All right, look at this TS comment, right? She's saying, as a woman, if the daughter confided in me with fears about certain things, I wouldn't break that trust. Listen to Corey, and I want you to understand this. And
No,
I'm sure, hold on, Corey, man, and I'm sure you know this. When a daughter have a particular relationship, especially with a stepmother. I don't think that is an easy thing, I don't think that's an easy step to have a relationship with a stepmother. So if she trusts the stepmother that much and the stepmother goes ahead and break that trust, I don't think that bond can ever be the same. I think
yo,
that's a bond that can never be repaired. So I'm thinking the stepmother is thinking like that and saying, hey, I just it's like she's caught between a rock and a hard place.
no, you're the difference, man. You're the
Yes.
thing. Here, for me, she's going to have to make a decision. But before acting on this, you're going to have to make a decision. You're going to have to do a risk analysis because you know that you're going behind your fiance's back to do this. And you know what the potential ramifications are if you go behind her back and do this. So it's your decision now. Do I prefer to have this relationship with the stepdaughter, which me not gonna have anyways if I go behind my husband back and him left me? So this relationship thing there, it's flawed because you go behind the man but the man left you. What kind of relationship you gonna have with him daughter anyways? You understand what I'm saying? So for me, bro, like alright, mind you,
Yeah.
again, this is a big decision. This is for me, mind you, I get married to this man, So what is that tell me about the future now? How many more important decisions will you decide to take
Exactly.
on by yourself
Exactly.
without consulting me?
Exactly.
As a man, yo, dog, you're the man, Remember, I'm not care
Exactly.
nobody want to say, you're the man, you're the head of the household. Every major decision. This is not like, oh, my daughter, I'm a little fight at school and I don't want my father find out, so I'm gonna just keep it on the wraps. This is like, bro, like it's
Life. Life decision.
abortion, abortions have long-term effects in
Serious.
a dog.
Yeah.
You see me? No, me not going on whether or not it right and wrong, whatever, but we are
Yeah.
on whether them have long-term effects. You see me?
Absolutely.
So for you to take away that decision from me as a
Yep.
father because she trust in you, bro. The wedding, the relationship off. It done.
All
Not you
right.
can't make them big decision there behind my back.
All right, Corey. Point taken. Wally West, let me get to you, Wally West, because I see you nodding your head and like you're vibing to some music, like you like what Corey was saying. But Wally, and I want the producer to put up Kish for you comment when she says some fathers you can't talk to them about certain things. Wally, and I think that was my approach. I said the father really and truly have to look in himself and wonder, hey, why is it that they can't come and talk to me about? And she's also saying, I prefer to vent to my stepmother than my father. So Wally, do you think that the decision was emotional, or you're saying, hey, no matter what decision, I must know about it?
So we can't conflate the issues. We have to deal with them separately. One issue is who an individual feels comfortable communicate with. That is separate and apart from the principle of being excluded from a major decision, right?
Mm-hmm.
Two different issues you're dealing with there. There is no way that as even if the child was the person's biological mother, you cannot take a decision. Remember, you cannot take a unilateral decision as it comes to when it comes to the matters of the child. It's
Mm-hmm.
something as basic as what high school the child goes to. You and the partner have a decision. All right, is it Woolmer's? Is it George's? Is it whatever the institution is? You have a discussion with something so quote unquote insignificant.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, then can such a major decision like that you're going to take a unilateral decision that is you break all bones dear sus. No, what if she take the daughter to do the abortion and she have complications and the daughter die on the table, or there's some major hiccup in the abortion and her womb is damaged and she can't have a child again. How on earth? I would find it very difficult now as a man to go forward in that relationship. So you
Uh-huh.
break the trust one, and then in addition to that, you make my daughter get damaged because of this process. No, there is it would be at best I would put a postponement on the wedding, but I would certainly be in line with what the gentleman said previously in calling it off. There's no way such a critical decision you can take on your own. My daughter, no.
Uh, all right. Jason Craig, I'm going to get in here, but Michelle is asking me to repeat the issue because she joined late. All right, so Michelle, there's this thing that was floating around on social media, and I wanted to get the guy's opinion. So basically, it's a father and a stepmother. They're about to get married. However, the father has a daughter. She's 16 years old. She got pregnant, but she needs to get an abortion. The stepmother brings her to get an abortion, but doesn't tell the father. The father finds out, and hey, call off the wedding. Wedding is cancelled. So I just want to get these guys' opinion to see if they agree with it, or they think he was overly emotional. I believe he was overly emotional. I think these are things that can be worked out. I think the father himself, I think he probably needs to work on himself and see where he went wrong. Because if he made such a rash decision to say, hey, the relationship is over, the wedding is off, then I can just imagine how he would have reacted to the daughter saying, hey, I need an abortion, or hey, I'm pregnant. But I probably lick her, don't kill her.
But
Who
that
knows?
matter.
But
But come on,
No,
let me say
but
one more thing.
hold on.
One more thing before you move on. I
yeah,
just want to say one more thing. There's a reason why the wife never tell the husband, bro. She knew
yeah,
him never agree with it. You see me? But for me, she knew him never agree with it.
yeah,
No, or just for me, here's the thing. Let's just say that the daughter is of age. Let's just say the
yes,
daughter 18, 19, whatever. See?
yeah,
So she's of age. There's no rape thing. There's no
yeah,
statutory rape or
yeah.
and she decided to say, yo, here we go on. Brother, your daughter come to me and say, yo,
Mm-hmm.
she want a passion. I know you don't agree with it, but out of respect, I make you know, so she come to me. And as a woman, me I go help her with it. Because, but me I go
Yeah,
make you, me just make you know. That could have easily been done, you know.
Yeah.
The fact that you went behind this man's back, brother, I don't think you understand the deception.
Corey, I am understanding, and I want to get Jason Craig's opinion on this one after I finish now. Corey, I'm understanding where you're coming from, you know, but I'm looking at it from I'm not looking at it. I think it's a thing where you guys are now is an ego business for the man them right now.
No.
Don't take the conversation that way.
No, Kims, you're wrong. You're wrong.
Hold on, man. Listen, I am saying, if I'm trusting this woman, if I'm going to marry this woman, I am saying that she has authority to make certain decisions without me knowing. If she believes that that is the best decision for my daughter in a particular time, I trust her. Or else I get married to her. That's just me personally. But hold on there. I'm going to let Jason Craig talk. Man. Let me get Jason Craig's opinion, and then you guys can come in. Jason Craig, talk to me and tell me.
That's something that would make any man furious. However, to call off the wedding, I'm not sure I would call it off. Probably a postponement. Like just come just call it off and not call it off, but pause and think about this for a bit and see where we are as a couple. However, to take his child to do an abortion, that's a very complex situation in my opinion, because as Wakeem's I say, maybe the father is just one of these irrational persons who's belligerent and would have destroyed the place if him find out her. And then you have another argument where it's just undermining his authority in the household. So it's a very complex situation. However, as it regards to me, postpone the wedding. I'm a very calm and subtle person, so I don't see that happening for me. But to just call off the wedding just like that, because a lot of thought is put into marrying a woman. A lot of thought is put into it. It can't be a frivolous thing, and a lot of situations are complex. Every situation is complex. It's not like she cheat on him or like it's something that she thought is in the best interest of the family. You know what I mean?
Why is cheating always referred to? Why is always cheating? Like cheating is the worst thing.
Enough things can make people break up. Enough things can make people break up.
Yeah, but cheating that worse than cheating.
Hold on. So
yeah.
All right, look at this. So look at this comment, right? So Miss Robbins is saying, "Good night, everyone. The stepmother should have consulted the father first. However, the father is obviously a reactionary person because it's really extreme to call off the wedding for that. That is exactly what I'm saying. Very reactionary. Very.
Okay.
All right, hold on.
Let me
so you have to tell me.
Hold on the Corey. Let me hear what Vincent has said. Because he's been waiting. Go, Vincent.
Let me put it like this, Kims. If it was her daughter, and I am the stepfather, and she did that, and she didn't say it to me, even if I didn't call off the wedding, because it is her daughter and she has a decision to make with her daughter, it would have said to me the type of relationship that I am going to have with this woman, where boundaries are and what will happen, what will be said and what will not be said. Yeah. You understand? And I guess that is what the other two gentlemen and myself is talking about. It is not an ego thing. If we are in a relationship, this is a major decision. We expect that irrespective of how you believe that I might react, that you must talk to me with major decisions. The fact that you don't talk to me, then I am saying to myself, going forward, how many other major decisions are you going to make that I have no clue about? And that is the issue. That's one of the and I get that she's my stepdaughter, so I mean it even closer. As my daughter said, even closer. So the emotional part of it, yes, I'm not even gonna go wrong. That will be there. But even outside of the emotional part of it, it is speaking volume to the relationship itself.
All right, so Corey,
there's not going to be any wedding.
Corey,
because you see that girl and mother.
Corey, hold on, Corey. I want you to answer this. Put up back TS comment for me, please. Producer, put up TS comment. Y'all thinking, okay. So Corey, answer this. Y'all thinking about what you do. If I tell my stepmom and she told my dad, I'd get it done behind both their backs and never tell her anything again. How do you respond to that, Corey?
So, is it you're either going to betray my trust or my daughter's trust. My daughter's trust to you should mean anything if you lose my trust, because you're my daughter and I have a relationship. Anyways, we may have left. So my trust should be the most important trust. You have no access to my daughter outside of me. You understand what I'm saying? So, and again, bro, here's the thing. There's this hypocrisy, you know. Because you see, had that been the stepdaughter come to the stepfather and say, yo, whatever she call him, uncle, whatever, I'm pregnant, you would have probably hear rumors you're inbreeder. You understand what I'm saying? You'd have probably hear rumors you're inbreeder. So
He would have died.
this old trusting, and that is so inappropriate. It would be so inappropriate. But again, we all know the world that we live in. Anyway,
Listen.
no decision is made with my daughter without, bro. Even if my daughter when my daughter reach age and start go prom, even make her buy my daughter prom dress and that's nothing to me, a problem. I joke. Maybe extra, but you get the point. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
Bro, that's a big decision. This is not like, all right. Imagine your daughter.
Decision.
All right. Imagine your daughter come home one day. Your daughter say, "Oh, step down. Somebody else want born my tongue or my neighbor. I want you to just come home and you say your wife bring a boy neighbor. You come home and see. How you feel about that? And born a neighbor is nothing called Lewis having an abortion.
Listen.
Just imagine that.
Listen. I think. Listen. And you know we have to move on to the next topic. But here's Kevin Bernard saying nothing reactionary in that. Everyone must know their own breaking point. That issue was serious enough for that man. Listen, what I'll say about it is, again, you know, if I'm getting married to a woman, listen, I don't want every single thing. When you guys say major decisions, but me, if I'm getting married to a woman, I am trusting that woman's judgment. I'm trusting that we have the same ideologies. I'm trusting that we are about the same thing in life. So if I'm married to her, she can make major decisions with my daughter without me. You can talk about board tongue. You can talk about any little thing you want to talk about. I am trusting her to make the right decision. And I want hold on, Vincent. And I want her to have a perfect relationship with my daughter. And I know how important stepmother and child relationship is. And I know how important stepfather and child relationship is. You cannot want to break that relationship just because you want to be reactionary, you want to be emotional, you want to be over the top. Those are all the things that I believe this father executed. I believe this could have been dealt with differently. They could have had a conversation about it afterwards, but I don't think, the wedding is off. Nah, I think that's absolutely
important.
Can I ask you a question, Kim?
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question, Kim? So, all right, remove the stepmother. You are married and you have your wife. You have your daughter. Are you saying to us that your wife can go ahead and make whatever decision she needs to make where your daughter is concerned? She doesn't need to consult you? You're saying that is good with you?
If what?
You're saying that you have your wife, you are married, right? And you have a daughter. You're saying that your wife can go ahead and make whatever decision she needs to make with that daughter. She really don't need to consult. And you're good with that. You're fine with that.
I'm saying that the person that I will get married to, I trust them enough to make the right decision. Yep, I do, me personally.
No, but
Hold on the Wally.
Yeah.
I'm going to let you talk, but let me just read. Producer, put up Belinda's comment for me about this child confided in. All right, so Belinda is saying this child confided in someone that she trusted. The trust would be broken if she told and never confided in again. What will be missed in parenting emergencies with this young lady after this? Absolutely. This is exactly what I am saying.
Hold on. The man have a point in teams. The man have a point, you know. As in, I don't think there's any right answer or any wrong answer. The man have a point.
No, man, bro. There's no right. No,
hold on. But Vincent asked a question just now, saying that if Keems would be okay with the wife making any decision behind him back. And obviously, no, wouldn't be okay with that, but wouldn't divorce her. You feel me?
Well, no, but the wedding not happened yet, brother. The wedding never happened yet, you know.
But you basically already.
The wedding not happened yet, bro. Imagine when they get married now, at them time that the complications start, you try. Well, imagine this, you know. Clearly, well, them not up on the same page regarding abortions. It seems that way to me. It seems like the father probably against it, and them know, and them say, yo, maybe the daughter probably never really want to really tell her the stepmother really, but you probably don't really know nobody else or what else which way to go. So she tell the stepmother, but clearly the stepmother probably believe, say, yo, you can do that, and the man probably say, yo, he not really believing in that. How you get married to somebody like that?
All right,
You
so
know,
listen.
clearly they're on the same
So
page.
Cadlan is saying, Kems, you said on a previous podcast you want to know everything about the woman. So wouldn't you, I guess she's saying, wouldn't you want to know about your daughter? I think that is, so Cadlan, I think that's a total different situation. I said, if I'm talking to a woman, I want to know exactly everything about her past, who she sleep with, whatever man she sleep with, what them do, blah, blah, blah. That's a total different
Really?
situation. Oh, you mean, I need to know.
And you don't want to know about your daughter?
Hey, listen
And you
up,
don't
listen up.
want.
No,
all right, let me
I never said.
say this
No,
and end.
Vincent.
You know, let me
Vincent,
say this
I am
and
not.
end.
Vincent,
Oh, yeah,
those
I-
are, that,
really want to
hold
know
on a
man
Vincent,
wants
man.
to-
Hold on a Vincent, man. That's apples and oranges. As I said before,
Who she sleep with.
I give the mother, my wife, the trust to make decisions. She don't need to come to me every time. Hey, what you think about this? Hey, wait.
It's
No,
not that
they
every
can run
time.
by.
That's not a. All right, let me
All
be
right.
very
So
clear.
here is
All right,
Kevin.
for
Bro,
me,
there are
all right,
very few decisions less important than having an abortion.
All right, listen.
you're right.
Very few
For
decisions.
Hold on.
James, I will only say that for me, any major decision that has to do with my daughter, I must know about it. Whether you believe I agree with it, yes or no, I must know about it.
All right.
That's all I'll say. I mean, other persons, other gentlemen here can do differently. I must know about every major decision that has something to do with my child.
All right.
Bro, this is a decision that is illegal in some places, bro. Like, this is not just like, oh, you want your ear dye blue? Like, you're making it look like the decision is like that.
Wally West. Let's welcome Ryan. Ryan has joined the live. Good night, Ryan. How you doing, boss?
Good.
Good. All right, Wally, go ahead, boss.
Yeah, man. So Kims, your response is not quite grounded in the reality of the dynamics of an actual relationship.
That is so not true. That's not true.
Allow me to finish.
But that's not true. You're saying that
Allow
it's
me
not...
to finish.
All right, go ahead, boss.
You are assuming that because you trust someone, that every decision-making process, both of you will have the same ideological perspective. And that's not how it works. There are a lot of times you trust your partner, but you're at completely opposite ends of the spectrum on a particular issue. So you trusting somebody is not synonymous as having the same perspective as them. Trust and the perspective that you have on an issue is two totally different things. That is why consultation is necessary.
Right.
That's why consultation is necessary. So because hold on a man. So because I trust you, and there is and a big part of trust is communication. That is why we need to have that dialogue about such a major decision. It cannot be I trust you, so therefore we don't need to talk. It's not one or the other, One trust is not replacing communication,
All right, Wally West. So let me ask you.
Can I add one thing to it? Kems? Because we're talking about the issue of trust, right? So the daughter confide in the stepmother. I believe the stepmother needs to say something to the father, irrespective of his reaction. He has to trust this woman that is married to him to say, all right, if the daughter confide in you, irrespective of how I might feel, irrespective of how we might have different opinion on what we are going to do going forward, then all right, we need to work it out between both of us, understanding where the child is at. That's a part of the whole trust process,
All right, so understood. Wally, let me ask you a question, though. Let me put yourself in the shoe. Okay, the daughter tell the stepmother come forward and tell you, hey, Abigail is pregnant and she wants an abortion. How does that change anything? How does that change the whole dynamic? Let me know.
What do you mean?
No, tell me how it changes it. How does it change it? Because I'm telling you guys, I'm telling you guys, it's a big ego thing for you men. You just, oh, I am the man, I need to know everything. That's a big ego.
No,
That's
It is not an
Kims,
Skims.
no.
I know. I'm not going to go down the road with you because I know that you're just doing that.
No, I am Wally,
This
I am
contrarian
dead
approach
serious.
as
I am dead
the
serious.
host of the program. But I'll play along. I'll play along with the contrarian. There are certain tenets that are necessary for a relationship. Certain basic tenets that are necessary for a relationship. Trust and communication are two basic tenets that are essential for any relationship. You cannot have
Wally,
a
I understand
major...
that, but more you answer. I just want you to answer my question. Just answer that. If the stepmother come forward and tell you, Wally, what does that change for the situation? What
Then
does
we
it
can
change?
have a discussion about how we proceed. We can have a discussion about how we proceed.
Okay, and then if at the end of the discussion your answer is no, and the daughter still go ahead and do it, what happens then?
No, then that is something now me and my daughter have to deal with. That is something me and my daughter have to deal with. Because remember the framework of the Christian has to do with the man's response, which is calling off the wedding to the decision that the woman made.
Absolutely.
Right? So we're obviously discussing how it impacts the dynamic between the man and his fiancée.
Absolutely.
It's a totally different discussion we have there. So totally, absolutely different. So it will be me and the daughter now have to go now work out this situation there. But in terms of having that communication, which is necessary for such an important decision, it has to happen. It has to happen.
So here is Mika saying, stepdaughter confided in me. I'm going to let her know that she'll have to tell her dad. I'd even sit down with her while she's telling him. I'm definitely not taking her without the dad's knowledge. All right.
Thanks,
So
Mika.
Ryan,
Thanks, Mika.
so Ryan, you have just joined, and I'm sure you've seen it making waves on social media of what's going on. And I just want you to know, I'm sure I see you shaking your head when Wally talking, so I'm sure you probably agree with what they're saying. But let me just know, Ryan, would you say, all right, let me have to call off this wedding because this woman is not for me?
If she take it upon herself to make a life-changing, and this is literally life-changing because her life is involved, a life-changing decision without me, remember now, is not even for her child. And she make that decision with the child, not involving me, regardless of what me does say. The fact is, I am not involved in the decision-making process, and it is a literal life and death situation. The man really don't have a choice but to call off the wedding because that is a huge red flag. If you're going to do that, what else are you going to do? I don't want to know. So my husband just go.
Can I say something else regarding that?
Yeah, 100%, Ryan. 100%.
You see how you react to as a man, bro, to a situation like this determines how this woman perceives you for the remainder of that marriage too. May I tell you, you allow her if you just get away with something like this, just like like that. Like, bro, like you're in for a world of trouble. Cause women, especially if this is a Jamaican woman, bro, like you give them an inch. You give them an inch and take a yard, like you just want to seem like you're a little bit soft at Jamaican people. Like, just a little bit.
All right.
You understand? Oh, really? And then she start making every decision now your daughter life. Oh, tongue boy, what do you mean? You want boy tongue, you want boy neighbor? Come in, why not? You don't have the abortion. What else you can do after that? Then everything
You're basically said yourself, sir.
Yeah, man.
All right.
Anything
So,
you need to know.
Might just say they just take fear name after the wedding too.
all right. So let me read some of these comments. So Shanila Ellis is saying, sound like the abortion conversation was not done before. If they had the convo, it wouldn't reach there, especially if it's a deal breaker for you. I saw Michelle saying the intended wife has demonstrated that she will make big decisions without me. I don't think that is a good sign going forward. Red flag. Era Robbins saying any woman that respects her man fiance would never go behind his back.
Thank you.
And not consult. All right. That topic was heavy, so I agree to disagree. I mean, I believe that the guy was very emotional. I think his decision was reactionary. I don't think I'll call off a wedding because of that. As Shanila Ellis said, probably the conversation didn't happen. Probably, probably that's why conversations are very important.
Sorry,
But no,
just before you move on, Kims, what would
yes,
make you call off a wedding?
huh?
What would let
The
you
girl
call
then,
off a wedding?
What would let me call
girl
off a
then.
wedding?
And if you say cheat, he will conk in the head. Because that word that nowhere near to carry your
No,
daughter for
but listen,
abortion.
Wally. You cannot listen. You can't tell me my parameters to call off a wedding. I'm like it's my parameters, not yours. But what will let me call off a wedding? At this point in time, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. Never really. I don't know. I don't know. Probably cheating. I don't know. But
It's
I guess
emotional.
that's something that we can talk about. We
Yeah,
can
but
talk
still
about a
surprised
little
to
bit.
say one know every girl. So hold on this. So every girl is supposed to have a list of every man and all of them characteristics that them sleep with. So that when
No,
they
no,
meet you,
no,
then we
no,
just make
no.
sure
So
them have
Corey,
that list there.
no, Corey. So what the topic was at that point in time, it was saying that something about quote unquote horror stories, and some guys on the panel were saying they don't want to hear. They will tell their horror stories, but they don't want to hear the woman horror stories. And I was saying I want to hear everything. Tell me everything, how everything
I'm
go.
mad.
More know everything. All
A
right,
good
but
brother.
no, let us shift. We're going to shift to another
You
part
if you
because I
tell
know
me
Vincent
lie,
have to.
me are the
I
best
know,
everything. Me the
I know,
biggest, me
I
are the best.
know,
Me know why you
I know
nothing else.
Vincent have to leave really quickly, but the next thing I want to talk about was something that I posted on Facebook as well, and I said that I believe parents try to live their dreams through their kids. And Vincent, he agreed and he disagreed. Definitely, I'll start with him. But I believe parents, what they do mostly is that what they didn't get to achieve, they want their kids to achieve that, not because the kids want it, but because the parents didn't achieve it, so they're pushing their children to do it. Prime example, I'll give you a prime example about me. Um, my mom, she wanted, my mom wanted to do accounts, right? She wanted to do accounts in university and so, but back then in that time, she said, oh, her mother never have any money, so she couldn't get to do accounts. One thing with me, she drill accounts in me and make sure she do accounts. Whether I'm bad at accounts or not, she drill it and I must do accounts. Because guess why? She never get to do accounts, so fear put me have to do accounts as well. And no matter what, we didn't have to do accounts. I mean, I love accounts and I was good at it. But I never want to do accounts. Going into
The
university,
mother
I
wicked
want,
too, man.
huh?
Accounts. The mother wicked too. Accounts.
You
I
know?
mean, going going into university now. Going into university now, I wanted to do marketing as my undergraduate degree. First thing my mother said, marketing don't make no money. Yeah, where you
That's
want to be. You
true.
want to be papa, marketing don't make no money.
That's
Accounts
true.
again. And I that
Exactly.
end up do again. And that was just because I fear. So I was living my mother's dream at that point in time, not my own dream. And I think there's a barrage of other situations that parents do that to other children. So I just want Vincent, you are a parent, and we had this conversation, and you tell me about what you do. But I just wanted to tell the viewers, what do you think about that? Do you think that parents, push their dreams on their kids and don't allow the kids actually choose their own path?
As I said to you when you had post the thing online, that it is a yes and no. Certainly you do have parents who try to live to the fullest their dreams through their children. Whether it's education, job, or whatever it may be, you have parents who try to live through their children. Um, it is uh it is also unknown because the truth is there are many things that our parents didn't have the opportunity to do. They were not able to do, wanted to do, could not do it because their parents could not afford it. I always say to Kems, what people don't understand is that we are at most 3 or 4 generations removed from slavery, and that is a fact. You understand? And as a result of that, our foreparents, there are many things that, irrespective of whether they had the brain, the mindset, or whatever, they weren't able to. Just like what your mother said to you. You understand? And
Yes.
as a result of that, sometimes we try to direct our children along that path. Also, having been through the world, like I said to my kids all the while, I know more than you. not because I am smarter than you. I know more than you because my experience is more than you. And that's what I tell them. It is not just being smart. The longer you live, the more experience you have. The more you get to see what life has to offer. The more you get to understand, all right, what direction you want to put your kids in. There are things that they would want to do because them say, oh, I just want to do that. But the truth is, we would have lived long enough to know that that's not going to turn you in a particular direction. And just like your mother said, that probably not going to make you make money. So I think you should go over here because I know later on you are going to want to live, you are going to want to have money, you are going to want to do these things. This is what I believe will put you in a better stead in order to make and to earn and to live the kind of life that I believe you are going to want to live. You understand? So parents do try to give you what they would not have had because they know that it will also make it better. And the bottom line is this, for the most part, our parents are only trying to make us better than they are. They want the best. I don't know no parent that don't want the best for their children. You understand? For the most part, we want the best for our children.
All right, fair enough. All right, so let me. So Kevin Bernard is saying my child must, not even maybe, must have strong computing skills because that's important for efficiency,
And-
whatever the career. Right?
And let me just add to that, even as Kevin said that, and I agree with him because we are living in a world where we understand that chemistry is computer is something is that we live in a computer world. It's like I had said to you that my two children, I sort of direct them to doing science in school at the CXC level. Why did I do that? They weren't clear exactly as to the path that they are trying to go on. And I know that in doing science in fifth form, then it allows them, if they want to go in business, they can go in business afterward. If they want to remain in science or go computing, they can do that. And I said to them, if you do business, the only thing you are able to do afterward is just business. So now your options is limited. So what I'm trying to do is to broaden your options and your horizon. And I only was able to do that because of my experience. So I understand.
Hold on, Vincent. Hold on, Vincent. So look at this comment that TS is saying. Careful though, Vincent, because the world is changing. If you told your parents that you wanted to do YouTube, they will call you crazy. But people out here making bank from YouTube. And that is exactly what I'm going to say. Because listen,
and I am I will agree with that. I will only say this because we have to be careful, We're not Kems, we have to be careful. Just 1 second, Kems, we have to be careful. Of course, there are persons making money from YouTube. How many persons are making money from YouTube? Do you have the attitude to make money from YouTube? Do you have the aptitude to sell yourself? It's just like playing basketball and football in school.
How are you going to know if you don't give them the chance? How are you going to know? Hold on, Corey. How are you going to know if you don't give them the chance? If you're plastering them with chemistry, books, how the hell are you going to know if they can do YouTube? If I tell my mother, say, Mommy, I want to be a DJ, she probably box me upside the head. What kind of stupid DJ you want to be? Go take your blasted book. So what I'm saying is, how are you ever going to know? How are you ever going to get the opportunity to know if you have any other skills and talent out there? If all you parents are doing are plaster education. That's
One point.
I can't say for you.
Corey.
Answer. You go ahead.
Corey, run it.
I'm gonna be honest. Had your grandmother said 25 years ago that you're crazy if you think you're gonna make money off of YouTube. We know YouTube wasn't around 25 years ago, but you would have been right if you're being honest. Zine, and you have to be honest still. You remember, bro, like our history. Coming from slavery, Zine, education has been pumped into us as the only way and the safest way to make it. I don't think a lot of our parents, I think a lot of them understand, say, yo, you can do music and make it, you can do football and make it, but them just not willing to take the risk. Be like, it's like, yo, I'm not going to take the risk from my one son, think about do football.
Again, Corey, that is the thing. Because guess what the parents are doing, right? This is what the parents are doing. They don't, because, and I saw Kish for you say it, Parents love to go out there and boast, right? I do all heap of CXC, I get all heap of CXC. Nobody don't know how much CXC I have, but I can guarantee you, my mother
I
friends
can tell you
them,
as a parent,
look,
no.
hold on, no. My mother friends
Man, I
them know
boast, bro.
exactly how much CXC me have do, because that's all she do.
Yeah.
Walk and brag and boast, right? And I'm not throwing slight at
James.
my mommy, of course. Hold on, no. Vincent, you can't talk every time. Hold on, no. Not sure. So listen, so.
It's just an experience I wanted to share.
No, but you're going to get a chance to talk, man. But hold on, man. Listen. So at the point in time, I am saying, if somebody say, okay, again, the next Usain Bolt, obviously these things are rare. But if someone say, hey, I want to go ahead and I want to do track and field, I want to be a track star, I want to be a footballer. Parents are not willing to give their. Listen, YouTubers make so much money, make more money than the accountants where I work at Bank of Jamaica, make more money than some people were even at the law. YouTubers are making a lot of money out there. Why is it that parents can't just say, hey, listen,
No, but
you know,
no.
let me
Parents are saying
support
that
my
no,
child
bro.
during
Parents
this?
No, man, but parents are saying that no, Kemar. But then, like, no people know say YouTuber pay money. But then,
Yeah, but you
information
have to understand
leak
there
and
was
in there.
there was something before YouTube back then that parents did not want their child to do. So every
Which is what?
generation
Right.
something new
No,
comes up
because of
that
the
the
risk.
parents them
Well,
oh that
also,
will
All
make
right.
money.
All right, hold on. Because of the risk and the uncertainty. But that's not even what me didn't want to attack it from, you know. Because me didn't want to look at it from a different perspective in terms of parents living vicariously. Because I never really want to focus on the career part. Because that is like the most common path. But for me, every parent, everybody does that. Most
I
parents,
agree.
Jamaica, bro. Jamaica, 95% Christian.
I agree.
Zane, every parent want them pitney to be Christian. It's like the worst thing in Jamaica for you grow your pitney and then like the pitney say, yo, I want atheist. Like it's like you feel as a parent. So really, your religion is living through your kid. Who tell us that this pitney want to be Christian, brother? So boy, you understand? We all, if you're a Man U fan, me can't have a son and my son support a different team. You're mad? Like you don't have a choice. So for me, everything you're into football,
No,
you're gonna try.
Corey.
You're gonna try and push football to your
I
pitney.
Kems,
You're
the
into
only thing
Hold
I
on,
want.
Vincent.
you know?
Vincent. Hold on, Vincent. Hold on. No. The other people them want to talk to, man. Jason Craig, you raised your hand a long time ago, boss. Go ahead.
yeah, man. Well, also take into consideration some statistics as in enough YouTubers feel probably like 1% of YouTubers make it big. 99% of them fail. That's one
Correct.
thing to look
Same thing with sport.
But
Same thing with sport.
the risk
same
healthy.
thing
Well,
with
I
the.
know. Well, I know
Alright,
with
go ahead.
sports, with music, you have like, you know how much people got studio at their time, brother? But only a handful, you know the massacre, you know the alkaline, you know the governor, them the commander. But enough man go studio, so the probability of success is little, tiny. And that is just the risk part.
Hold that point there, Jason Craig. Hold that point, Jason Craig.
Highly likely.
Let me ask you a question, Jason Craig. Jason Craig, let me ask you a question.
Hold on. It is
How do
highly
we
likely.
define success?
Kems.
Jason Craig.
Kems,
Hold
hold
on,
on,
man.
Kems. Let me finish the point, Kems.
All right, go on.
It is highly likely for you to be able to feed yourself with, and put the bar right, so feeding yourself and your family. It is highly likely for you to be able to feed yourself and your family with, say, an engineering degree, an natural science degree, or it depends on the degree, because obviously if you do history, I waste of time. But if you do something that's perceived to be marketable, you are highly likely to feed yourself, even if you not work in that field. So I think the security is what the parents are looking at. The security, because it's very risky to be a sports superstar or a sports. Yeah, go ahead.
Hold on. All right, listen. Hey, producer, put up back Toki and comment when she said when I first started to teach online. But just have a show no
Look at Ryan wants to say something.
So Toki say when I first started to teach online, my mother cussed me out saying all me I do I waste time and I chat on computer. Let me tell you something. Parents and Vincent, I'm going to give you a chance to talk, but Ryan raised him hand, so I'm going to let him talk next. But all I'm saying is that parents nowadays, they only want the traditional way. You grow up, you go school, but then again, when I tell me say 1%, hold on there. In terms of 1% make it in a track and field or in a sports, 1% in a music, 1% in a YouTube. But there are many persons out there who are not book smart, who are not interested in education, and the parents force them to do education, and all they leave school with is a bunch of loans and absolutely 0 degree. Those things happen as well. So I am saying, as a parent, it is your duty not to force it down them throat. Understand where your child is great and try and encourage them to go down that avenue. That's all I'm saying. Not because Sandy next door for your daughter is a big lawyer, you feel like, oh, well, hey, you're going to go to law school and you have to be a lawyer too. And don't tell me the parents don't think like that, because they absolutely do. So I'm saying,
Bro, you can only say that when
and then I ask a question. Hold on, no? And then I'm going to ask all you guys a question. And I want to start with Ryan. What is success to you? Because I believe we have different, success is defined many different ways. Somebody on YouTube where I make 30,000 US a month, probably that is for them success. Somebody who's sitting in a bank and I do teller transactions, probably that's success to them. So Ryan, what is success to you personally? And then you can go ahead and make a point.
Success is relative, because growing up, I never know exactly what I wanted to be. I just know that I wanted to be rich. And throughout life, I tried to figure out ways. All right, I was in banking. I left banking. I left corporate, and I went with somebody, help start up a business. I know I'm back corporate. So I've tried different areas in life. So basically what I think parents should do is to just guide the children. It's like how let me use Finland education system as an example. Their system is set up in a way where it tailors the children towards what the world is doing right now, towards life courses and life subjects and so forth. So it fits them. So basically what that means is that where the world is heading, that is how it structures them. So I think that parents should operate in such a way where you don't necessarily force a child to become this or become that, but you basically can guide them towards something and let them choose from there. So I believe children should be well-rounded, where they also have their education, but if they want to do something else, if they want the tracks, they don't tell them to take up them book. Let them go run. Suppose you can do tracks and you can take up your book at the same time.
Absolutely.
It's not a one or the other thing. So if the people want to run, him run. If you want to play cricket, make him do that.
Absolutely.
Because growing up, I saw too much of this. People want to do sports and all kind of other things, and even teachers used to tell with a copy book.
Yep.
And but can I say
remember
something?
at school as well. There was a set of us where, study for CXC, leave sports alone. Make them wonder who now do nothing, take up sports. So sports was seen like a dunce people something, which is not true. Absolutely. It is stupid. So absolutely. I think children should be guided. Nothing should be forced upon a child in terms of the career path that they want to do. If a child all right, a lot of parents also are out of the loop. They don't know what to spend. If you tell them about YouTube and money off of YouTube, them lost. They're going to tell us, better you go take up the accounts, just like your mother. When an accountant make 100,000 or 200,000 a month, a YouTuber clear that within a day or something, some of them. So a lot of them are lost and they don't understand what is trending now and how the world works right now, because the world passed them already in terms of where they are right now. So absolutely. They should also trust their children to make the right decision. And if them fail, so be it. Life is about failure. Absolutely. All the way about fail. Them fail too. Absolutely. Them don't know everything. Absolutely. A lot of adults always say this growing up. And me say no even more that I've grown up. That I never, enough time adults tell me things I'm not trust them growing up. Honestly, I'm never be honest about it.
Absolutely.
I never trust their word, so I try to do things my way. And it always get me in trouble.
Absolutely.
No, well, not get me in trouble in the sense that I go out there go get into trouble, but because I was stubborn away, it was seen as if I was rebelling against them or whatever it may be. But I just realized from early that a lot of them don't know what they're talking about.
All right, let me get Wally, because I haven't heard from Wally in a while. So let me hear Wally now. Let me hear Wally take on this. Let's see what he has to say, and then Corey can go ahead. Go ahead, Wally.
All right, so we have to balance the conversation. So firstly, I do agree that there are instances where where parents live vicariously through the children. I guess the question really is, the heart of the question is it a good thing or is it a bad thing? I don't think we can make a sweeping statement where that is concerned. Firstly, just to balance the conversation. So Ryan mentioned how they take the approach in Finland, where they basically guide the child towards where what the world is heading to. So they have them on the cutting edge. But but in the discussion that we're having now, you can very well have a child who has no interest in going where the world is heading. I can give you a personal example. One of my good friends, he went to JC, and his father at the time had the foresight, and he said to his son, say, you go do this computer thing and do this programmer thing. And he resisted it, and he said he found the subject difficult, and then he found one teacher who was able to impart the information, and a light bulb clicked in his head, and he found out he actually had a natural affinity for it, and he's actually a manager in Canada now. So sometimes we think that because a child doesn't want to do something, then let us take that away from them and put them towards something that they like. A lot of times it depending on the temperament of the child, it can just be a case that how the teacher is imparting the information, they have a mental block and they don't like the subject. And they know when you carry them to extra class, or you allow them to develop the resilience to persevere through something that they're uncomfortable with, they end up better off. So we have to balance the conversation. Also, there are instances where, again, so going to the negative effect of it. One of my sister's classmates, her mother is a doctor and her father is an engineer. So she was adamant that her daughter had to be an engineer or a doctor. And the girl is very good at the arts. But no, you can't. All of her friends at the country club, their doctor is that their children is either doctor, lawyer, engineer, or politician. So obviously my daughter has to be one of those, and they steered her away from what she has a natural affinity for. So we see both sides of the coin where that is concerned. But I don't want us to leave the conversation thinking that if a child is uncomfortable doing a particular subject matter, then the overarching rule is that we must take it away from them and steer them towards something that they quote unquote like. We have to do a little investigation, because sometimes it's a teacher, sometimes it's because the class that they have it in, some people are pick on them and bully them. So you have to, as a parent, assess where the child's natural affinity is, and also understand that not because a child is interested in something that means they are good at it. Frano, and Glenn Mills can tell you, say, oh, leap a young you come to him and say, yeah, man, me a big star, me a big runner, me love it, me I run from my primary school. And him just take them through one training session and say, no, you need to go home. So let us not also confuse the issue and think that because a child is passionate about something, it necessarily means that is something that we're good at. So I think the resolution is somewhere in between, but always doing as Ryan said, guidance. But again, as a parent, there are sometimes you have to take an executive decision when you talk with the expert of the field, as well as from your observation of the child, that this thing that he's quote unquote passionate about at this time, he really doesn't have the talent for it. It's just something that they like at the time.
All right.
James, hold on a
Can I?
second before we move on to the next guest. So what I want to chime in with is that when BPO sector came in, right, a lot of parents were reluctant for their child to go into that. Now, if you really look at it, a lot of students, younger folks, tend to use the BPO sector as a stepping stone to get towards other career objective. Reason why I brought that up, you look at a teacher, for example, earning say 100,000 per month, right? At a call center, you can earn 100,000 in 2 weeks. So I mean, sometimes it's because of the change of regard. Parents in general are not willing to accept it. That's the thing, and they're not willing to allow their children to go out and, let's say, make a mistake. They want them to just follow one narrative, and then if they mess up, they can say, "Okay, cool, I understand that you mess up here," but they're not willing to allow the children to go out there and make the mistake on their own. So that's my take.
Absolutely.
Let me say this as a round
Hold on, Vincent. Corey, then you, Vincent.
Okay.
What I want to say, Wally, you didn't even have to talk to Glenn Mills then. They just know, sometimes you just want to listen to some of the mixtape them someone have put out and realize, yo, brother, the talent thing, music thing, bro. For me, Zane, when it comes to this thing, it's very sticky because one, I think we have to consider the environment that we're in, especially as Jamaicans. You see me, we cannot fool ourselves into doing what the Americans do and feeling like we have access to what they have access to. Because you can want to do a thing and love a thing as much as you want. If there's not a market for it or if there's no facilities for that in wherever you are, in a sense, you just have a passion, a hobby where how you gonna feed yourself. So we have to be realistic. Another thing, and I was a victim to this as well. I'm not gonna lie to you. When I was going to school, I'm gonna do this whole passion thing. Oh, this is what I like, and there's a passion. Sometimes it's laziness, you know. Sometimes you really want the challenge. Sometimes you just want to stick to what you're good at. So it's like it's laziness. You don't really want to step outside of that because it's challenging. And that happened to me too when I did pick my degree. I'll never forget. I'm gonna go UA, and my father asked me one more, and I say, "Yo, it's international relations." I don't want to know one thing about international relations, bro. But just know say they include a lot of writing. No one bag of numbers can be the maths and the statistics and I chose the easiest degree. I chose a degree that I thought was one of the easiest degree then, but it definitely wasn't like an economics or finance. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think still consider myself relatively successful, but I think I probably could have chosen a more challenging field of study. You see me? Honestly. So that is another thing. So for me, I understand the live your passion kind of thing. But when you're Jamaican, bro, like giving our history, I don't think, just like what Vincent said earlier, we're only like 3 or 4 generations from slavery. I don't think we're far enough removed from slavery, especially Jamaicans, because mind you, emancipation was 1838. You see me? Not even 100 years, well, not even 200 years ago.
No, but
I don't think we're so far removed from that. Huh?
No, but in 1950, blacks were not allowed to do many things in United States. So even though we have emancipation in 1838, I mean, Rosa Parks and Martin Luther King is one generation away from us. So,
Exactly.
I mean,
so for me,
come on.
I just don't think don't get me wrong. I understand what you say, especially Ryan. I understand it, but I just think I understand the parents' perspective too, because it is for me as a parent. My job is to raise you when you're of age, or I'm gonna say age, when I mean 18, but when you're of that age, when you know, say, okay, time for you to move out. When I lock my head at night, lock my eyes at night time, I'm not supposed to worry about whether I'm putting the heat, whether I'm putting the, you understand? So it's like, I understand the frustration, but I understand their position too, because it's a risk, bro. It's a risk. It's a big risk, and who want to risk them put in the future? You see me?
All right.
So, and sometimes them take it overboard too.
As I run off, let me say this, Kims, right? There is no blueprint, there is no book as it relates to parenting. And yeah, you have some people who write books and all of these stuff, but parenting is one of those unique things where even within having 2, 3 different children, you have to parent each one of them differently. You understand? You have to try and see, understand your child and determine, all right, what is it you're going to do. Our parents would have tried to parent us by doing the best based on their knowledge, their experience, what they would have been exposed to, and they want to give us the best. I hear Ryan saying sometimes allow you to fail. We don't want you to fail. It pains with heart inside of you. Listen to me, the love you have for your child, anything happen to your child, you don't want them to fail. So you are trying to put them in the best position that you believe that you know how in order for them to succeed. That's what we are trying to do. And even when I look, and as I say, I wanted to share the experience even with my son. He loves basketball, play basketball for Georges, play an under 16, play an under 19. And if you follow him, you want a career in basketball. I sit him down and I say, listen, bro, this is basketball. These are the amount of persons who play basketball. These are the amount of persons who make it to college. These are the amount of players that are playing in the NBA. But what I'll say to you, even if you don't have the talent to get to the NBA, sports can allow to you or open other doors for you. That's what I said to him. That's what I said to my daughter. So yes, you might not go here with it, and you might want, because you can have the passion for it, you know. But do you have the skill, the high skill to get there? My job as a parent is to try to get you to look, to understand, sometimes to get to go into areas that is not easy, that is difficult, to challenge you. You understand? And what I want you to do, Kems, even though you might say, yeah, your mother tried to push you here and there, just take a step back and look at her. Look at what she achieved. Look at where she is. And then sometime appreciate that. All right, me get what you did as a mommy. You were just trying to get me to be successful. You understand? And the truth is, we can't get away from it. Corey said it earlier. Our success. Sometimes for them, our success is their success because they weren't able to get and achieve what they want to get. So you have to balance it, as Wally says, in terms of how you look at it.
So one thing before you go, Vincent, and very well said, and obviously, you know my position on that. And what I'll say is that, listen, I know my mother, other parents, they always want the best for their child, right? Always want the best for their child, always want the best for their children, and there is definitely decisions that my mother made that I was against, and it panned out for the better, So I mean, all in all, we can look at it that way. But let me ask you a question, Vincent. If your son said to you, Daddy, I don't like school. I want you say basketball. You say, Daddy, all this money that you're spending, sending me to this class, this school, this thing, I want you to take that money and invest in a personal coach for me, for coach me up for the basketball, because I'm going to pursue my basketball dream. That is what I want to do, Daddy. And Daddy, I want you to support that basketball dream for me. What say you?
And this is what I would say to my son, because I'm saying to you, just given my experience and in terms of what I would have seen, I am saying, all right, this is what you want to do. And in fact, I do a little bit of that. And I just don't want to even go further on some things that I would have done, right?
Yeah.
So I am going to give you all the options and the best way so that you can achieve your dream. But I am also looking at you, I am looking at your talent, and I am looking at what you do. Sometimes I say to him, this is a trade-off. I am going to do this for you, you are going to do this for me. Because the truth is, I want you to also work and understand that don't lock yourself and don't lock yourself into one direction, one area. You understand? Try to give yourself some options sometime. I remember listening to Steve Harvey one at the time, and he was saying that the only option he always has is an option A, because he said that if you have an option B, then you are going to be diverted. There is some truth to that, because there is some truth to that, but I wouldn't go with that totally, right? So in terms of your question, I am not going to say, no, I'm going to take you out of school and we're just going to get a coach. I am going to say to you, I will get you a coach and I want you to work hard. These are the times that you will work hard, but I also want you to still pursue school. If you pick up an injury, because what I'm saying to you, we've seen athletes who get injured. Some of the greatest athletes with the greatest talent has not made it to the top. Just for simple injury. There's nothing they could do about that. So I am saying to you, yes, pursue it. Yes, you have a coach, but I need you to also do it on this side as well. And then let us see where it goes. That's how I look at it from a parent.
That's fair. That's fair. I can't argue with that. That's fair.
And if I'm a 5'6", they even better encourage it.
Spoken like a true parent.
Spoken like
I hope your son is over 6'2".
Man, I tell you,
He's right about
I'll give him a
6'2",
5'6"
6'3".
everybody encourage it.
And yeah, Vincent, I think TS appreciated, Vincent, I tell you, they like when you come on, because, you're the grandfather for the show, so you always come with the wisdom. And TS is saying, Vincent, that's wisdom. So definitely, I know you have to run, but I just want to ask you one more thing before you run, and then we're going to, because a question was sent to me on Facebook from, so I'm going to calm down the room now, because our tempers were very high earlier on those first two topics. So let's calm down the room now. Okay, so a question was sent in, Vincent. You can answer this and then leave, and I want everybody to answer after. So the question was, why is it that men don't heal themselves? Why do they just jump from woman to woman?
Woo! Right, that's a loaded, that's a big question. Wow, how do I answer that question? It is a fact that at times there needs to be healing for us. We tend not to sometimes, because you may move from a situation, another situation will come up or arise at the same time, and even though you might have said to yourself, this is what I want to do, you end up getting caught up into the situation, or you end up going in a particular direction, you understand? And then now you have to be trying to heal yourself while you're doing that at the same time. The truth is that I have come to realize that sometimes that needs to be done. And as men, we don't take the time to do it also because of how we were brought up, how we were trained. What is it? Who is it you are as a man? As a man, you are, and you had dealt with it, I think, earlier in one of your podcasts, that we are taught to be tough, not cry, stand up straight, you understand? And because of that, you must move. You must, if you say, I need some time to heal me, everybody look at you like, what?
Like a star.
Whereas I guess we expect it for the female. So part of it is the culture, part of it sometimes is just how we find ourselves in situation. But I do believe that the question that yes, there's sometimes as men we need that setback to get that done.
All right, Vincent. Definitely, thank you very much, boss. And I know you have to get going, so
Okay,
you have a good night. All right.
Yeah, man.
So Michelle is saying it's because men don't process emotions well. Sometimes emotion overwhelm them, so they take a path not to dwell on them. Ryan, let me get you in, Ryan, because when we talk about emotion, so for example, we just come out of a relationship, and we have a girl in our mind or a woman in our mind that will say that is our dream lady, and then she comes along. How can we now say, hey, I need some time to heal? And I don't know any man out there that will say, hey, I need some time to heal, and then in the process they might lose the person who they think is best for them. What do you think about that?
I don't understand the lose best for part, because if you're trying to heal, that means you have some things in you that you want to get over or support.
Okay.
So if you're saying that you lose the person for you, you're going to lose them anyway, because taking up somebody when you're broken, chances are, very high chances, is that you're going to do something to mess it up.
Okay.
The chance of that is very high.
Okay.
So I think it is important to heal, and I agree with what Vincent is saying, that culturally, men, we are not taught to do any of that.
Okay.
We just start to be strong, move on, whatever it is. No healing, just be a man, tough it out, move on. But logically, though, it is important for us to take some time off, some time with ourselves, process, see where we went wrong, see where the other person went wrong as well, so you don't make that mistake happen to you again.
Absolutely.
If you can avoid it. So it should be a holistic thing where the process of you, where you went wrong and where the other person went wrong, should be taken into account, so that if it is just that you go into a relationship and somebody else is doing that thing, you know that, oh, that is what that person did, why it cost me my last relationship, so you can basically address it early.
Absolutely.
Or you see where you went wrong, you can say, all right, this is what I won't do,
Okay.
or into a new relationship. So it is very important though to take the time away and come back stronger. So that way now you will more likely succeed in the next relationship as opposed to I don't think you will lose anybody along the way. Because as I said earlier, that if you take up that person, you're going to lose them anyway because you never take the time off to process and to revamp where things went wrong and so forth. So I think it is really important that we learn to do that and society allows us to do that.
Absolutely. And Jason Craig, I promise I won't interrupt you this time, boss. But I want you to respond to this one. Robbins is saying men want to feel wanted, and sometimes they use females to distract them from the pain. Instead of dealing with the issues head on, they bury themselves in different women. What would you say about this?
Well, I agree. I very much agree because we all know of the concept of a rebound. Girls have it, men have it. I'm not sure the ratio who have it more, men or women. But as Ryan said, we're not really taught how to handle our emotions because if we do a poll, I'm asked when last the item cry over whatever. I'm sure it's gonna be years now. I'm sure it's gonna be years now, you see me? So we don't really know how to
More
process
than half my life.
more than
I
half life.
I cried
Was
I cried a couple weeks ago, but I don't know about these guys.
Yeah, but crying I mid 2021. But yeah, we don't know how to process with emotion. So our response to a heartbreak are gonna be just to fill the void, whether with alcohol, another woman, something that just to fill the void. We don't understand the power of crying. We don't understand the power of like talking to your boys and let off some steam or whatever.
Absolutely.
We don't really understand the power in that. So it's really just a mechanism to cope with pain.
Absolutely. All right. So Wally, I've heard Jason, I've heard Ryan, and what is similar with what they said is we don't know how to deal with pain. We don't know how to handle pain. Is there something that you think we can do as men to try and what would I say now? Get to a level where men can realize pain, men can understand pain, men can deal with pain accordingly. Because I believe it's quite unfair the whole rebound concept that Craig was mentioning. Hey, you just get hurt from a woman, you move on to another woman. You're not going to give the other woman your all. So I want to get if you believe that there's anything out there that can be done from a pain aspect, and I want to know what you think about the fact that men don't heal; they just move from woman to woman.
All right, so I'm going to answer the second question first. So Craig, it's so interesting because the Craig mentioned it. You mentioned the word rebound. No, rebound is a gender neutral term, right? So I don't ascribe going from relationship to relationship as a coping mechanism for men only. And interestingly, conversely, you can't you do it not having a significant time span between relationships is not necessarily an indication that you have healed, because I know women personally who have been hurt by a man. They gave their all to the man. They have been hurt by a man, and 3, 4, 5 years pass, and they never get in another relationship because they are so scarred. They are so scarred by what happened in that previous relationship.
Yep.
So have they healed? No, because they are unable after 3 or 4 years to move on because of the hurt that is there. So I don't want us to set up dangerous precedents that if there's a big gap between relationship, it means that we've healed. That is not accurate. But to answer the broader picture though, I think there needs to be a holistic approach to provide a framework for men to express themselves.
Absolutely.
If and the interesting thing is that the women who are asking the question about why can't we heal are part and parcel of the issue, right?
Thank you.
Then you wanna go say, You're too bally, man. Why you ball and the girl left you? You're not handsome, man. You know, can't get a next one. You're an idiot.
Thank
But
you
I
very
know
much.
a man like you, me wouldn't know you. Cause look how you cry over woman and look how much woman is. So when you get born, you go hold it in.
Yep.
Right? When me I go say, boy, came, you know, say this girl me love, boy, you know, say a Simba take her away. You go laugh after me. I say,
Not
boy,
to cut you know what, but when we say
Simba keep your
society
foot.
causes men not to do this, women are a part of society.
Go again.
No, when we say society is what causes men to not want to heal, we also have to remember that women are a part of society.
Yeah, man,
Absolutely.
that's why I mentioned
So
the
yeah,
fact.
I'm supporting a point.
Oh, okay. Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, man. So we, especially as I don't, you can help me, Kims, in terms of what obtains in America. But here, if a man a get born is a point where man a go gimmicks him, man a go laugh after him, and then the man who take away your girl, I go walk past you and beat him chest and say, yeah, I me do that. So there is no avenue, there is no environment, there is no framework
Mhm.
for healing. You know, if a man decides, say, boy, you know, say, me need to go counseling, but I go say, you're weaky, man. Why are you going to counseling? You're a man, you're supposed to can deal with it yourself. You're a man. And man and woman, I telling you this thing. So there needs to
Absolutely.
be a reorientation and resensitization that
Absolutely.
allows us as men to walk the fine line of being emotionally strong enough so that we can go on the front line in wars, but at the same time still have that capacity to express ourselves emotionally so that we don't suffer PTSD for years. And Kims, you can speak to in a more pointed way the sort of emotional trauma and post-traumatic stress syndrome that men go through because of the lack of an avenue for these things. So I
Absolutely.
don't want women to say, okay, you know, there's this toxic masculinity that is causing men not to express themselves and not understand that they are part and parcel of the demographic that has the solution to this very, very, very pressing and touching issue.
I've always, and Wally, that's well said. And I've always said to myself, well, my newborn self, know that if I'm unable to cry around a woman, or if I feel like if I cry around her, it's going to be something negative, then I cannot speak to that woman. I should be able to express every single emotion, cry, bawl, mama,
I agree.
whatever you want to call.
I
That's
agree.
something that I must be able to express with a woman. And you just face it head on. She's there for me. Move on. I don't want when the argument come, hey, you can't chat to me, no, cause last time you had ball and I'm here for hush. Absolutely, absolutely no go. But here is Miss Robbins saying an emotional, intelligent man is a balanced man. So let me get to Simba. What do you think about? Are you a person that heal? First of all, because I know you, from a very long time, and I just want to know if you're a person, if you get your heart broken, because I believe we have all been hurt at some point in our lives. Are you a person that say, hey, I need 6 months, I need a year before I start talking to somebody else, or are you, hey, she dissed me, and I go jump over here, so I go talk to somebody else?
No, I'm gonna heal. Move from one to the next. Well, before we married,
Yeah.
my wife still a watch. Yeah, for me, I don't think, I'm gonna be honest, I don't think women want you to heal either. If I'm be honest with you.
Absolutely.
I don't think women really want you to heal.
Why
First
is
of
that?
all,
Mm-hmm.
most women nowadays, men can't live without sex. Well, most men can't live without sex.
All right.
How are you going to have sex with a woman telling her, hey, man, I really commit here right now, babe, me just try to heal, without her saying, yo, where this I go? Yo, long time asking out, yo, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where this I go? Valentine's Day,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna try to heal. So
Yeah.
for me, women don't really accept that. So it's like a man I say, yo, heal, I don't have sex. Big man thing, can't live without sex, brother. So I prefer just drag my butter bruise heart over to the next girl. I hope she didn't really damage it too hard.
That's true.
So for me, yeah, and it's not necessarily healing from relationships either, because me and one man, we can say personally, I'm still not healed fully from a whole heap of issues from my mother and stuff that happened to me in my past, and I'm still healing now to this day. Like, and funny enough, whenever if you did ask me before we meet my wife, say nothing wrong with me, I'd be like, we're good, dog. Like, I didn't even know I needed healing until the situation started to arise in our marriage, and even before my wife was married, like, relationship, and you're like, yo, I really have issues for real. Like, things I thought were normal, realize were normal.
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
And yeah, I cried last week, told my wife they have an argument, like a breakthrough. You see me? So my ball last week, so one laughing for me.
Yes, sir.
I cried last week, Wednesday.
You're in a safe space. You're in a safe space.
But now I laugh off here, right?
But I did cry for real, and a joke about the crying thing, but my attitude towards it, a joke. But that's what I think with regard to the healing thing. For me, them trying to make it look like man need more healing than anything else, and them not the issues and them perfect, because them the cheat. Like them, it's like for me, everybody just talk about cheating. Like cheating is like,
oh gosh, man. Oh man.
Like so woman need healing too. No found make man broken the heart, and then still love the man, and then I go there with the exact same man right over there, so him just have a different name. And then I heal, and then I think gonna heal because maybe I don't know if we contain it a bit more, But we all need healing, you see me? With that said, gentlemen, I have a cut. So big up on yourself.
All right, boss.
Be safe to the man them.
All right.
Before we cut, Ryan, you used to the charges?
No, sir.
No. Not my older brother them way before me, but not me.
Hey, Simba, I have one more question for you, really quick before you go. All right, really quick. For everybody, really. It's another question that a lady sent in, but I just really want the answer, and then we'll do 1 minute, and then we'll sign off, because we're reaching up to 1 hour and 30 minutes. All right. So the question is, how do you guys feel? And then we're going to pick up on this for next week. So this is starting to pick up on it for next week. So Simba, you can start. How do you guys feel when you let down a woman in the bedroom? Go ahead, Simba, really quickly. And let us not act like we have never failed before. All of it.
Bro, been there. Been there. We can say it, and this can probably be a prelude.
You arrive too quickly, can't stand up, whatever it is. But just quickly, Simba.
As a Jamaican, it's probably the worst thing you could ever do for a man, bro. It's like
I feel like you let down the country, brother.
Bro, I feel like I let down my ancestors. Like all of my ancestors are dead, the middle past everything, like for nothing. Like that's how you feel like, yo, like you're serious? Yeah. Bro, like sex is, especially as a Jamaican, sex is such a big part of our culture. It even like a pitney, like no, trust me, bro. It is almost, we can't even describe it. We
absolutely
know.
Totally
my
understand.
gosh, it's yeah.
All right, so you're a Simba answer for all of it.
No, and no. All right, Simba, go ahead, boss. All right. So this is it for me. When I let down a woman in the bedroom, my first thing is to apologize profusely. This don't normally happen. I am sorry. I'll make it up. Give me another chance. I apologize profusely. Because again, I just feel like I let down the whole country. I feel like I let down my boys. Now we have the podcast. I feel like we let down the podcast. They always say birds of a feather flock together, right? So we are all of this on this podcast. One person now match the works properly. Everybody on the podcast, all of a sudden now match the works properly. So, this is, and I guess probably you can say it's a burden we put on ourselves as men, but I believe that really and truly, You know, I think that is an important aspect for me and a lot of men. You know, so we try to execute. We try to execute well. And Cadlan is saying, "Woman, don't take failure in the bedroom lightly." Jason Craig, you want to go at it?
Sure, but I wouldn't say it's that horrible for me. I'm not sure if I've been fortunate to like have the experience with understanding women. But all I do is just apologize and say, hey, this doesn't normally happen. But it's never been really a big. Of course, it happens, of course, but it's never been really a big deal because I don't know. I always seem to have that experience initially. If you know what I say, I don't know if it's anxiety, but I can expect that it will happen. But I redeem myself over time.
All right. And here is Tokian saying, "Who vex like we when man waste my natural juice? I don't no drink enough water already. No, my borderline dehydrated for nothing." Ryan, do you want to go ahead and tackle it, or you're
pleading? Simba, on top of me. You know, it works especially when it's a new one.
Yeah.
If it's one where you deal with for a while and you feel so, then you can easily make that back up. But if it's a new one, and you feel, then you know you let down the world.
See, Robin saying for women, when it's what the first time, no passing back. There you go. Wally, do you want to take stuff?
No, you don't have to apologize and ask for a second.
And give the speech. This don't normally happen speech.
Yeah, definitely. We'll be joined because so let me just say this really quickly. Next week will be our last episode of season 1. And then, we're going to take a little break, probably a week or two, and then we'll kick off season 2. We want to go out there and do some promotions, get the thing, going even more, get the base, get some more people on board and stuff. So we're trying to bring some professionals to the table so they can come and talk about, certain issues that is plaguing us men that we need to talk about. But, I agree with Ryan, especially when it's a new link. I don't know what we do for the new link, but make sure everything, check down, make sure everything is proper and everything all right. But sometimes we just feel and we just have to apologize and just take accountability. But with that being said, I'm obviously going to go around, give you guys 1 minute. If there's something that you needed to finish up on, a point you need to finish up on, then you guys will go and do so. And I think next week we'll have a couple women on as well for our final episode of season 1, so we can go at it. The next episode is going to be very, very, very spicy, very raunchy, just a little bit raw. So I really like if you guys could definitely be there as we try to take on the women, go toe to toe with them with some of these issues that we just mentioned. But Ryan, go ahead, boss.
Well, yeah, as it is another show with some important topics and support. And I realized that more people are getting invested in the show and in the topics, even people who don't really comment. But when they say like you or me put up the screenshots, the shots of the show, they comment and so they like the vibe, they like that we as men come together and we talking about these topics. Like, yeah, they like that, especially women. I realize the women like the fact that we talk about these topics and we talk about it in such a way where even though we might disagree and some people might come off different orders, we do it in a manner where we don't attack each other and we don't talk down to each other or call each other names or something like that. So it is a good vibe in that sense. And it is also good that we have varying personalities who, you came as the devil's advocate. I don't know if you do it all the time to fight or what, but yeah, it's a good blend. So it does those type of things add to the character of the show, because if we were all straight line and think one way, then there wouldn't be any vibe to this thing. So the blend actually helps the show to be what it is. And for season 2, we will definitely grow. We just need to do some of the right things, some of the best practices in terms of marketing and bringing people to the table and so. So yeah,
So,
we'll get them step at a
absolutely.
time.
Jason Craig. Jason Craig. Before Mika is saying, have a boy me eat like poison. Fail the first time, give him a second chance, and him still fail. Only look good for nothing. And Mika is also saying, and we're definitely learning about life. As I'm saying, a lot of women have reached out to me, and they say they like what we're doing, definitely, and it gives them an insight of their men as well. How men really think. How we process things. What really goes through our mind, etc., etc. And they use it, and a lot of persons watch it. But obviously, we want to grow. We want to grow to this world. We want to get as much people on board as we can, and that's definitely our aim. And Mr. Robbins is saying, healthy discussion. This is the only show on YouTube that I look forward to right now. We really appreciate that, Mr. Robbins, for sure. Jason Craig, do you teach at UE, boss?
I used to.
Used to. Okay.
Yeah.
See, again, somebody say, I think he used to teach me at UE. I dem look at it, I tell you more. Yep. All right, boss. Go ahead with the minute, boss.
Yeah, man. So really healthy discussion. Really healthy discussion. I love the perspective. Wally West, you're very articulate. Me appreciate your perspective very much, and of course the elder and all the other gentlemen. It's a really healthy discussion. However, I'd like to touch one particular point regarding emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence need to be taught just like any other intelligence. In my opinion, like we as a culture, we don't really teach emotional intelligence. We don't teach relationship building. We don't teach people how to relate boys in particular, how to relate their feelings. So
absolutely,
I think that's one thing we as a nation, we as a people should invest more in our education system as well. And
Not to cut you, but there's still the pals in school? I got stop.
come again?
No, pals, they still do that? Peace and love in school?
I have no clue.
No.
When
They
we are
don't.
group, we used to learn those things. So I'm sure one of these young children now getting it. Given that you're speaking about emotional intelligence in school.
Yeah, man. It's very important in terms of relationship building, intimate, business friendly. It doesn't matter. Emotional intelligence is very important to our development.
Yeah.
That's why you have some little man have some short fuse, have some really short fuse, and then go off and thing. Conflict resolution. But yeah, man, wonderful discussion as usual, people. Let's keep on doing it, and we're gonna be here for the long run.
Yes, Jason Craig. I just get a few messages from the females who's going to be on the show next weekend. They're saying they want to ensure you, Ryan, and Wally West is on the show, so clear your schedule. I can show you guys afterwards what they're saying. So they definitely need you guys on the show. Wally West, go ahead with your minute, boss.
All right. So I am an advocate for healthy discourse among males, because when you look at a lot of society's ills, it really stems from a lot of the deficiencies that we have as males, right? I heard some staggering statistics the other day, right? So I come from a nuclear family, and when I went to university, I realized that was not the norm. And when I did some research at that time, this would have been in the early 2000s, says that 85% of homes are single parent homes. And they also have research on top of that says that the children that are most likely to be a problem to society, paraphrasing, are come from single parent homes where the fathers are absent. So I and there's a lot that is wrong, that culturally we celebrate as well. The whole heap of girl, that is something that is actually tearing down the fabric of the family, and that is something that we have to address. In an era now where is battle of the sexes, men versus women, when we really need to come together so that we can build the family and by extension build the fabric of the nation. So I really love this podcast. I'm passionate about it because we really need these issues ventilated so that women can see that we are not the enemy, and at the same time see how they can be part of the process to restore the fabric of the family, and at the same time, hold us men accountable for where we have the various toxic traits and ideologies, so that we can really move forward and heal the nation, heal the families, and heal the nation. So I'm happy to be a part of this.
Absolutely, absolutely. And just really quickly, what I'll say, definitely, I tell you guys all the time when I send out the email, I really and truly appreciate you guys. And we have a particular goal. Obviously, the producer behind the scenes, definitely a big part of this project that we're trying to build. And when I started this, for me, it was only just to raise awareness, to provide a platform for us men where we can just come out and we can just talk. Because I believe we have a lot of things that are bottled up inside of us, but we don't know who to talk to. We don't know where for. So, that was my primary goal. But I think this is something that, I think we can achieve greatness from this. And, each and every one of us who we have included, and, persons who support us, I believe this can go a far way. So, again, I appreciate all you guys. Jason Craig, sorry for cutting you off again, my boss. But that part, that was a little emotional topic for me, about the parent pressure thing. But, it's all love.
Good man.
It's all love all the time, and we're prepared for next week, because Wooden Spoon and the rest of women, so they're coming out in full guns blazing. So I think we'll have next week will be our last episode of season 1. We'll take a week or 2 weeks break, and we'll come back again. But we're lock and loaded for next week. So thank you guys, and have a great night.
Blessings.
All right.